Hi, welcome. I'm Irene, and today we're going to be covering the body scan meditation. So I'm going to guide you through a practice where we'll be scanning from the bottom of the toes up towards the top of the head, also using a little bit of the breath to guide you. This is quite a typical practice that you find in mindfulness, and it's always the first meditation that's introduced during the Mindfulness Based Stress Reduction course. And that's due to the fact that it's very accessible to everyone, whether you're new to meditation or if you've been practicing some time. And because of that, it's really also my go-to meditation. So if I'm struggling at all with sleeping, for example, if my body's feeling exhausted or a little bit burnt out, then I'll always come to this meditation to try to bring my connection back towards my body and breath. So you can do this practice either sitting or lying down. So you might want to choose to come and lie on the back and really make yourself comfortable. So you could allow the feet to fall open, letting the palms face upwards. And if there's sort of slight tension in the lower back, perhaps just placing soles of the feet hip distance apart, that allows the back to ground a little. If there's a tendency to fall asleep when you're lying down, there's a quite nice option where you might just turn your fingertips facing upwards, and that will just help. If you do start to drop off, you'll start to notice and catch yourself. But for today, I'm going to choose to sit down. And you might just, depending on your mood, also choose a little bit of which position feels right for you during that day or evening. So once you find your comfortable seat, you can just start to softly close the eyes. So by closing the eyes, bringing the focus inwards, becoming aware of which parts of your body are directly connected to the ground. Feeling that direct connection to the ground. And also noticing which parts of the body are away and not touching the ground. Allowing the body to be nice and heavy. And bringing the awareness slowly towards your breathing. And just noticing that movement of the breath, whether that's in the nostrils or down in the belly or chest. Just feeling the movement of your breath. Just staying a few moments with watching your natural breath. So not trying to change the breath in any way, just noticing how it is right now. And just knowing as we go through the body scan, if you're at any point losing your focus on a particular part of the body, there's always the possibility to come back to watching the breath. And this might help steady yourself. And also remind, of course, as we're going, you which part of the body we're on. Try to bring your focus back if the concentration gets lost, which at one point it's bound to do. So from here, just scanning slowly down towards your toes. Seeing if you can feel the big toes, the little toes, maybe noticing toes in between. You might feel slight spaces between the toes. Noticing perhaps temperature. The feet feel cold or slightly warmer. Maybe feelings of moisture or dryness. Feeling the toenails and skin around the toes. And if it's difficult to feel the toes individually, just feeling that area of the toes as one area. And just remembering also at any point, if it's hard to connect with a specific area of the body, don't worry too much about it. Just do the best you can. And also observing perhaps then the sensations of not feeling. Seeing if you can breathe slowly down into your toes. And if it feels good, perhaps just taking a couple of deep breaths where you breathe down on the inhale to your toes. And on the exhale, allowing the air to move out of the toes and ultimately out of the body. And if this feels good, just doing a couple of rounds of breathing down towards the toes. And on the exhale, allow the air to move away from the toes and out of the body. We're now going to move the focus away from the toes, so feeling the soles of the feet. Noticing the balls of the feet, feeling the heel. Perhaps noticing the instep, arch of the foot, outside of the foot, so feeling all four corners of your feet. Noticing if there's any sensations, perhaps tingling or dullness. And then from the soles of the feet, bringing focus more to the tops of the feet. And perhaps feeling the front and back of the top of the feet. And seeing if you can feel both of your feet as one area. So feeling both of the feet completely. If you like, breathing down into your feet. Maybe feeling deep down into the bones and out towards the skin covering the feet. And then from here we're going to move the focus away from the feet towards the ankle area. Feeling the ankles as they are right now. And then from the ankles, scanning further up towards your legs. Feeling calf muscles in the lower leg. And in the front, maybe feeling that area of the shins. Noticing if there's any difference between the right and left side. Seeing if you can feel your lower leg area. So we're kind of alternating a little bit with focusing really specifically on one small part of the body and then also alternating between feeling slightly bigger areas. So see if you can feel the whole lower legs right now. And if you do notice at some point that your mind has gone away from feeling the lower leg, perhaps you're lost in some sorts of thoughts or feelings, just be very kind to yourself on this, remembering this is part of the practice. And as best as you can, just bringing the focus back towards the legs. And this can happen many, many times as we're doing the practice, that the focus starts to move away. And just have that kind intention to bring the focus back. Now we're going to move up towards the knees. So feeling the back of the knees, front of the kneecap, left side, right side of the knee. Sometimes there might be some sensitivities in the knee, so just noticing how the knees feel right now. And then we're going to continue scanning up the upper leg now. So feeling the backs of the thigh, so feeling around the hamstring, maybe feeling that connection with the ground. Scanning around to the front of the thigh towards your quadriceps. Feeling the inner and outer side of the upper leg. Noticing how easy is it to connect to these different parts of your body. And then we're going to see if you can bring the focus towards both legs as a whole, from the tips of the toes all the way towards the upper area of the legs, where the legs start to meet the pelvis and the hips. Feeling the legs as one area and using the inhale, if you like, to breathe down into the legs. And the exhale to allow the air to move out of the legs and ultimately out of the body. Doing this a couple more times. Inhale again into the legs, feeling the legs as a whole. And exhale, allow the air to move out of the legs. One more time. Inhale, breathing into the legs. And exhale, letting the air move away from the legs and out of your nose. Slowly scanning further up now, so we're bringing our awareness towards the pelvis, towards the hips, feeling maybe the buttocks resting on the ground. Scanning around to the front of the hips, so maybe feeling the hip flexor, maybe deep down into the genitals. Just feeling any sensations or lack of sensations in this area. From here we're going to then move slowly further up the body, so you can bring the focus towards your lower back. Feeling the center of the lower back, where the spine is, and around the sides of the lower back. It's often an area where we can have tension build up. Notice perhaps how that area is feeling right now. And if you like, maybe just breathing into the lower back. Slowly then scanning around the sides of the abdomen. So from the lower back, coming around towards the front of the body. Feeling your lower belly then, below the belly button. And feeling all the way up to the upper belly, so that area where the diaphragm is, right at the bottom of your rib cage. Feeling the softness of your belly. Noticing maybe whether the stomach area is feeling slightly full, or if you're feeling slightly hungry or thirsty. Just noticing deep down in the organs. And then also feeling perhaps the belly wall expanding on the inhale and drawing back on the exhale. From here, slowly scanning further up, so we're coming towards the mid part of the torso, so feeling that area around the rib cage in the front. Feeling the side rib area, maybe noticing movement of the breath there. And then also feeling the mid-back area on the back of the body. Noticing if there's any sensations. Again, if you've lost the attention, if your mind has moved elsewhere, just kindly bring the focus back to that middle back area. We're going to, from here, start to slowly move more up. So feeling then the upper back of the shoulder blades. If you're on the ground, this might be a nice part where you're feeling connected directly to the ground. If you're sitting, maybe feeling contact of air or clothes against the skin. Alternating between feeling the outer layer, so the layer right on the surface where the skin is, on the upper back, and perhaps feeling then also more deep down into the muscles, down to the bones. And then scanning from here around towards the front of the body, so passing the armpits, feeling the area of the chest. You might feel also slight movements of the breath here, so the chest might be expanding on the inhale and dropping on the exhale. Is there any tightness or other sensations in this area? Just bringing all of those sensations, whether they feel pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, just bringing them into the field of your awareness. Maybe feeling the sternum engaging in your breathing. And from here, we're going to try to feel the whole of the torso as one area. So from the lower belly and lower back area all the way up to the upper back and upper chest area. Using the inhale to breathe into the middle section of the body, and the exhale to allow the air to move back out of the nose. Inhale, breathing into the whole middle part of your body. And on the exhale, allow the air to move back out again. Doing this one more time. Inhale to slowly breathe into the front and back of the body. And exhale, allowing the air to move back out again. Scanning then from the shoulders all the way down towards the fingertips. Feeling all 10 of the fingertips. Noticing any tingling or any other sensations. See if you can feel all 10 of your fingers. So again, notice if you can feel those fingers individually, or if you just feel those fingers as one area. Perhaps noticing warmth or coolness, other sensations. Feeling the back of the hands, and also feeling the palms of the hands and fronts of the fingertips. Scanning slowly around the area, bringing awareness also to your wrists. And then from the wrists, slowly scanning up the arms. So moving focus away from the hands and the wrists. Feeling front and back of the lower arms. Moving up towards the elbow area, in a crease of the elbow, outer edge of your elbow. And moving up towards the forearms, and noticing inner and outer side. And from here all the way up towards the front of your shoulders. See if you can feel now both of your arms, hands and fingertips as one area. Using the inhale to breathe down towards the fingertips. And on the exhale, breathing all the way out of the arms and out of the nose. Inhale, breathe down towards the fingertips. And exhale to breathe out and away. Doing this one more time. Inhale, breathing into both of the arms, hands, fingertips. And exhale, moving away from the fingertips all the way up to the shoulders. And then we're bringing focus now towards the neck, so feeling back of the neck. And the front, so around the throat. Maybe as you bring attention to your throat and neck, there's this sort of wish to swallow. So if you feel like that, just choosing to swallow and noticing how that feels. From here, bringing focus up towards the head, so coming up to the chin, towards the jaw, often an area where we hold also tension. Feeling your cheeks, lips, deep down into your mouth, and the tongue inside the mouth. There's all these small muscles around the mouth that you might just want to relax. So no need to hold your face in a particular way. Scanning slowly up your face, so towards the nose. Feeling the ears area around the ears. And then around the eyes, there's also all these small little muscles. So see if you can relax completely around that area. And even with the eyes closed, soften your gaze. Feel the area around your eyebrows, space between the eyebrows. Scanning slowly up to your forehead. Again, find, if you can, relaxation there. And then we'll scan slowly all the way around the back of the head, so feeling the whole scalp, noticing your hairline, and just bringing the focus all the way up towards the crown of the head. Just holding the attention for a moment at the crown of the head. And then from here you can allow the breath to expand into the whole body. Breathing down to tips of the fingers, tips of the toes. Feeling, if you can, the whole body as a whole. Feeling the whole body from head to toe as one area. Just staying here, if you can, in total awareness for a couple of breaths. And then you can just begin in your own time to slowly wake the body back up. And when you're ready, just resuming again the activities of your day. So thanks so much if you made it to the end of this meditation. As I mentioned at the beginning, no worries if you fell asleep during this meditation. That can really be something that happens a lot. As you practice more often, you might just try a couple of the tricks I mentioned of either sitting up or with lying with the fingertips lifting to try to be a bit more awake during the meditation. But it might just be also a sign of your body if you're falling asleep that you need a bit of sleep. So don't worry too much about that. Equally, if it was very hard to keep your focus on the parts of the body as we were moving. Also, each day can be different, and that's really part of the practice also. We're not trying to find a special relaxation. It doesn't even have to actually be enjoyable. What we're wanting to do is really take the time to be in the present moment and to connect with our body and breath. So thanks so much. If you've got any questions, feel free to write them in the comments. Give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more of these videos. So I'm focused a little bit on a mix between yoga, meditation and pranayama. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you soon.